It's been a very strange sort of 6 to 7 weeks for me personally, with Premier League football coming to an end, the World Cup, the kind of intensity of that, and the pressures that come with everybody's job. And mine, now as a content creator, is no different. But just over 6 weeks ago, as most of you were aware, I believed, whilst live on the air, that I suffered with a heart attack. And initially, that was put down to being a trapped nerve in the back, which sent kind of pains into my chest and into my arm. And in turn, that led to a panic attack. And I was given the all clear. That they listened to my heart, they checked it with ECGs, blood tests, and I was told to kind of go away. And I kind of addressed it with you all. I'm not even too sure when that was now, or the exact date of that. About a month ago, about the 19th of November. It was just before the World Cup begun, and I was feeling a lot better. But I really wanted to take this time because I know a lot of you have sent me direct messages and private messages asking how I am and how things have been. And I'm always someone that's been open and talks to my community about myself, as 95% of the videos that we put out, and me and my opinions. And you've all done so much for me in my life, helped change my life dramatically. And I just wanted to pay you the respect by updating you with what's been going on. It's been quite a scary month. I'm not even going to lie. And although, like right now, as I'm recording this, I feel fine. I'm sure throughout this video, and I talk about it, some of the issues are going to resurface in many ways. But I had been back to hospital a couple of times. I have had ambulances called out on a number of occasions in the past 4 weeks, including when I was in Doha. A very sort of scary morning where the chest pains just become so intense. Now, thankfully, even though I believed, truly believed that the doctors got it wrong, I truly believed, even though I was on camera saying my heart's fine, I'm going to be okay. There was 2 or 3 occasions since I kind of addressed you all and updated everybody on what happened, that I was convinced the doctors got it wrong. Absolutely convinced. And of course, that's led to more tests and um, more updates. And essentially, what they have found is there's 2 things that are, I suppose, quote unquote, wrong with me, um, which have caused me some issues. The first one is the development of quite a high level of anxiety and panic disorder. And this stems through the fear that it is a heart attack, the fear that when I get these tremendously painful moments in my chest, it spreads down my arms, it also spreads into the stomach area. I can't get myself out of those situations in that moment. I don't possess the ability, no matter how many breathing techniques I try, no matter what I tell myself, I know I'm okay. Even though I think about all the symptoms that I don't have that would typically be connected to a heart attack, I'm often unable to take myself out of that train of thought. That leads to a high level of panic and anxiety coming in, which intensifies the pain I'm feeling. So there is a psychological element to this, which I'm getting better with. I'm still refraining from taking any kind of tablet or drug to get me through that, because I want to do this through. I want to do this as naturally as possible. The second element is, it's got a name that I struggle to pronounce. I think it's pronounced costochondritis. I think that's how it's pronounced, which is essentially, it's a, and I'll make sure I kind of describe this right. It's inflammation where your ribs join the bone in the middle of your chest. So essentially, here there's obviously muscle here. You've got the cartilage and everything else. So what this essentially is that it's massive inflammation that happens. Now the crazy thing is, this can happen through exercise. It can happen through stress. It can happen through coughing or sneezing. You know, have a really bad cough for 2 weeks and you do it and you develop it. They're still not too sure how I got it, because there's nothing. We're not too sure. But that's essentially what it's now been diagnosed as being. And I have to tell you, the pain is crazy. When the pain comes in, I mean, I've done cruciate ligaments, I've torn hamstrings, I've fractured things in my body. This is I've dislocated shoulders, knees, ankles. This legitimately is the worst pain. But this pain kind of coupled with the anxiety and the stress and everything that comes with it, it's horrible. That's all I can really say. But am I okay? The question is yes. I'm following what my doctors and um, therapist is saying. And I had a therapist before, but I've used her on a couple of occasions now. And essentially, the feedback is no gym, just light exercise, eat good, and keep working. Which is really interesting because quite often when you're suffering with, which I am, mental health issues that I'm going through right now with the anxiety and the kind of panic attacks, often you're told to relax and take time off. The problem that I've got is that the majority of the time my stress comes on is actually when I'm working. And the problem is if I stop working so it goes away, there's a fear that I could create because of the panic disorder, a kind of phobia about streaming or recording or making content. Now, personally, that's catastrophic. That's my income gone. If I can't work, I can't earn money. I can't look after my children, pay my bills, and it's a big stress for me. So it almost becomes like a knock-on effect. So I wanted to update you all because one, some will say it's private, but you all witnessed it live. A lot of you care. A lot of you have messaged me. I don't even know how many DMs. I'm going to be modest and say around 200. It could be a lot more than that. Over the past few weeks, how are you getting on? Loads of comments in videos, and I said I would update. But I really wanted to thank you all because the level of kindness and the way you've kind of treated me during this period has been for me kind of cathartic and therapeutic, and it's really helped me. And I'm trying not to get animated on streams because when I get animated, of course, you tense. When I tense, it creates the inflammation to start. The inflammation starts, and then the panic sets in. I was on the airplane on the way home from Doha, and I lifted up a bag, and I just did it from an angle I shouldn't have done. It kind of pulled my chest muscle, and I felt the inflammation start. So for like 4 hours on a plane, I'm sort of like in panic mode. Typically, what really helps is going to sleep. When I sleep and wake up, it's always gone. The pain's gone, the stress is gone, the anxiety is gone. So I tend to do that where I can. But I am getting there. And the good news is that the heart has been checked now, not just in the UK, but in Doha as well. And every doctor and every paramedic and every ECG scan has come back identical. So I do believe 95% of my brain knows I do not have an issue with my heart, that I am actually very healthy. My blood sugar, my blood pressure, my heart rate, everything is about as good as it could be for a 37-year-old man. I do need to work on the anxiety and the stress and the panic attacks, and they are getting less frequent, which is amazing for me. Since the last major one, I'm having small ones, but the last big one, it's now been 12, 13 days, and I'm not trying to tempt fate, and I'm touching wood it doesn't happen again. But you're all a big part of the reason why it's been why I feel like I'm getting better. Your support, your care, the messages you all send mean a lot to me. And I suppose I'm just saying to people out there, look, it's like mental health is a real interesting thing for me because up until this point, I've had issues, but never like this. When I'm going through these panic attacks, when I'm going through the anxiety, I've never experienced that level of despair. I've been through worst things in my life, people dying, people becoming terminally ill. But the level of despair I feel when I'm having these moments is it's like uncontrollable. I struggle to regulate it and keep myself calm. But I am getting better. And my advice to people out there is talk to people if you're suffering with anything similar, whether it be a therapist, whether it be a teacher, whether it be a partner, whether it be a stranger in a park. Talk to somebody about it. Get them to give you your views and your opinions. When it comes to physical ailments, don't wait around. You know, I am very lucky that mine is purely inflammation of the chest. And there's no real treatment for it, to be fair. You can take anti-inflammatories and you can kind of get some massage done, but it just takes time. They say typically 6 to 8 weeks for it to go away completely. And I'm not being funny. They didn't discover it in me until 3 or 4 weeks in. I went back to the gym because they told me to. and that made it worse, right? That's where it all came back, me going back to the gym. But what I'm trying to say is that if you do have any kind of physical things, you get constant pain in your arm, constant pain in your chest, constant pain in your stomach, don't ignore it. Don't just think it will go, it will pass. Don't just take painkillers and go, "Ah, it's gone now, it's fine." Do go and get it checked out. And I'm very glad that I did because the level of stress it was putting on me was unbelievable. And thankfully, I don't have any other underlying issues, touching wood, as I say, as it stands right now. But please go and get it checked. Please go and get it looked at because although we all sit on here and we banter each other and we take the mickey out of each other's footballing opinions and we rant about things are fairly trivial in the grand scheme of things. Your health is very important. Your physical health is key, and your mental health, of course. No matter how physically fit you are, if your mental health is out of shape, you're in big trouble. And it's in the lead up to Christmas. I'm feeling a lot better, and my hope is now that that's it for me. No more panic attacks. The anxiety is still there to a degree, in terms of me learning how to regulate it, and weird things are stressing me out that never used to. But I only go back 4 weeks ago. I couldn't drive. Like, I was too scared to drive in my car. I was too scared to be left alone with my children, just because I didn't want to have an episode in front of them or while I was driving. I didn't want to go into supermarkets and be around people. But I took the advice of the doctors, and it was just slowly, slowly catching monkey. Do things in steps and stages, but try not to cut anything out because the more you cut out, the harder it is to get over these things. So I want to thank you all very, very much for the love, the support, the kindness over this period of time. Of course, the content continued, and I think going away to Doha did help as well. I was able to relax out there. You're away from the general stresses of life, and it was some nice moments to have some downtime and relax in the heat and everything else, and it did me wonders. Still fighting to get back to complete full fitness because I'm not 100% there yet, but very much on the way. And I just wanted to take this time to say thank you. Um, very much from the bottom of my heart for all the love and the support that you've given. It means a great deal to me. Back with more content later today as well. Man United are back in action. So looking forward very much to the football coming back. But until next time, everybody, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And remember, talk to people. Don't ignore it. Talk to people. It's the, whatever expression you want to use, it's the most alpha thing that you can do. Legitimately, it is. It's the hardest thing that you can do. Ignoring it, hiding it, not talking, that's what you got to avoid. That isn't being strong. That isn't being tough. All you're doing is damaging yourselves. I mean that sincerely, but I do get it. And if you've got any issues that are similar, if you want to reach out, if I can help, put you in contact with the right people, even if it's just an exchange of DMs, feel free to reach out to me. I really mean it. Thanks all, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.